You know, you never see at the beginning of every take I do, I'll clap or clap a couple times to help the audio sync. I wonder if I should do like a supercut. Sync up. Okay. All right. Sync up. 19, sync up. It's 5. Sync up.
What did you just watch?
The first episode of the last season of My Little Pony.
My Little Pony Season 9 premiere.
8 years and I'm still here.
It's the end times.
Season 9, Episode 1 and 2.
Yeah, grow up. Yes!
A pretty good episode of a pretty good show.
My Little Pony Infinity War.
Premiere of Season 9.
You know, it still hasn't really sunk in yet that this is like the end. I feel like it's gonna hit me all at once like a train.
What were your overall thoughts on the episode?
Well, it was fun. It was fun.
I thought it was very entertaining. A lot of good fight scenes. Funny Discord parts. I think those are my favorite parts. And, you know, twilighting is a pretty funny term that I feel like is long overdue.
Thought it was a pretty solid couple of episodes.
It's really well done. I really want to see how this season ends from now, because that is so cool that they have a whole league of villains of their own, very DC Comics-esque. I love that. I love that so much.
It's a good season finale opener.
Pretty good setup for what's going on this year.
League of villains that he's trying to build. He lost one, but that's okay because Samba sucked.
There were lots of moments that I liked.
I'm liking the direction so far.
It was fun seeing, oh, you know what, let's just bring some villains back.
Yeah, I liked it a lot. I really enjoyed this episode. I was a little bit surprised, actually. It has the usual problem of having way too much crammed into one episode. They could have split it apart and focused on any one of the things they put in here, but it was a little bit crowded, but it didn't go overboard for me. Personally, it didn't affect my enjoyment of the episode, and that's really all that matters, I think.
That was one of the best intros to a season I've seen so far. I love that. That was cracking up through the entire thing. That was just great. I love this episode. I love this. I can't wait. I hope this season ends phenomenally, because that was a great season opener to me.
I thought it was kind of predictable, but at this point, it's hard to be unpredictable when you've had almost 200 episodes.
Has risen my hopes for the rest of the season. I'm really looking forward to seeing more.
It's not really a criticism, it's just kind of where things are at this point.
It's so funny that after 9 seasons, we finally see them dig deep and gather the element power without the elements. You know, they represent the elements. They are not reliant on the elements.
I liked that it had an inverse Machiavellian sort of thematic, where instead of good people learning how to be competent from villainous people, it had villainous people learning how to be competent from the cooperative nature of good folk.
It's also really great to see the villains of Equestria finally band together. I mean, they are at their low point.
Well, I really liked it. I think that it's that kind of episode I've been wanting to see for at least 3 seasons now.
Yeah.
It felt like kind of going back to their roots, you know, the epic main 6 versus the big bad guy.
That when they bottomed out, here comes this figure to unite them all. And I really love that they based him on a G1 character, but didn't stick too close.
It was shocking, it was fun, it was everything that I love about My Little Pony, so I definitely give it a high rating.
It was kind of predictable, but at the same time, I feel like they realized this too, because they were kind of calling out their own shtick at a few moments.
It's probably one of my favorite season openers to date. I actually have to admit that I think it's personally, I thought the writing was good in this one. The fact that we saw the main 6 struggle, the struggle of the main 6 was so real.
Yeah.
It was good. I like the premiere. I like how they brought together this Legion of Doom.
Went on longer than I think it should have.
Also introduced Grogar in the process.
Yeah, Grogar, which is great. It's one of the villains I've been saying they should add since they added T-Rex.
Yep.
So.
Going into this, we knew that this was going to be the last season premiere that we were ever going to get with Generation 4, Friendship is Magic. And what a cool start it was for the season 9. I love the setup. I'm excited to see what season 9 holds, purely based off of these first 2 episodes. Even just the first episode was a great setup.
It's been long enough, but yeah, it's cool to see an alliance of bad guys, and Maybe there'll be a raid.
It was cool to have Sombra back. Cool to see him back in villain form and then get obliterated again.
I like the animation and I like the writing. It's just good. Overall, I liked it.
If the show wants to make fun of things they've been hearing for years from the fandom, this is the whole season to get those out.
This was fun, and I enjoyed it.
What did you like about the episode?
I really like that Sombra is like an actual character now. It was kind of like a meme in the past, how boring and lame of a villain he was. But now he has that pompous attitude. He's kind of arrogant and confident, and it feels like more of a character there.
They gave him like plenty speaking roles, and they gave him a personality, and that's cool.
Really love the idea of friends and family being taken over and being used as weapons or whatever. I feel like that's, a little bit of a trope in movies or television, but we've never seen anything quite like that in My Little Pony.
It definitely did a lot to help him, to help his character, to help his lack of character previously.
I liked Discord's involvement.
Yeah.
Like, with him being, like, supportive in his own weird way.
Discord was my favorite part of the episode. He's such a great character. And I love how powerful he is and how nonchalant he is about it. It's just a very neat character. I very much like that.
I liked everything else.
I also really liked the little slapstick bits. Like, they just kind of gave a little bit of humor and flair to an otherwise somber episode.
I always kind of like it when they throw in, like, the G1's references. I don't know what they are, but I can tell when they're there.
The animation style, there were some new, like, face symbols that I haven't seen before that I thought fit.
I really like the setup that this premiere did for season 9.
It was kind of nice seeing a lot of the villains reoccur.
I love what Sombra did in this premiere because he absolutely went all out, didn't hold anything back, and like sometimes we see the villains build up to it or kind of like have this I have a big important thing I gotta do, but then like it takes them a while to just kick into gear. Sombra did not even bother with any of that. He just went, I'm coming through, MFers, watch out, here I come!
I liked that they were kind of self-referential, going, Francis don't do anything.
Some of the meta stuff that was going on, and I really enjoyed that we brought back another G1 villain. I like the fact that Chrysalis came back.
Yeah, I like that they're bringing them all back together. And
I do enjoy the fourth wall breaks and the pointing things out again that the fandom's kind of been saying.
They're being self-referential.
I think my favorite part about this is just like the fact that he called all the BS, like that thing with the princesses, like Rim Dash, they never do anything. That cracked me up, like legitimately. I laughed hard. I think that was beautiful, and I just love that they got so meta.
Once again, I love the humor.
I love the villains are all teaming up. That's sick.
I loved all the villains getting together. I thought that was really interesting, and I can't wait to see how that plays out over the season, although I may know a little more about that than some of you.
A bit more action-packed than most season openers.
I like the humor.
Yeah, the humor was like spot on for this one.
I like just about everything.
And the main six had to fight their friends, and it's like, well, we've never really thought of that. They've never had to really deal with that kind of premise before.
Yeah.
So I loved that.
I like the fights against the brainwashed ponies. I like the menace of Sombra. He's definitely more interesting this time around. And I like that he has a personality. I don't mind that he's very flamboyant and I will defeat anyone who challenges me. Aha! Now, I find that fun, and I find it kind of belies the danger as he turns everyone into unwilling soldiers / meat shields.
I like that they brought back Sombra, because they kept hinting at it, and everybody kept expecting it to come back, and they finally did it.
I like Twilight's Freakouts. I always have fun watching those.
I did like Discord's speech.
Discord's speech was lovely.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
I like that Starlight tried to outdo her. Nice psychology attempt, but I guess you gotta stick to hypnosis.
I really liked the inclusion of the Crystal Empire. I liked seeing Cadence doing what Cadence does best.
Being pretty pony princess.
She's my favorite.
I like the villains.
I like Grogar. He seems like he's kind of innocent.
Yeah.
I like the little bit of history lore they threw in there. We're like, oh, well, Gusty.
Yeah, Gusty.
I love the fact that Selly and Luna finally acknowledged how useless they are.
Yeah, that's true.
Color me intrigued. I want to know more about the lore. That's fascinating.
And I'm hoping that this is going to be like a recurring thing throughout the season.
I like the fact that now I have a verb for when Twilight's spazzing out.
Oh yeah, twilighting.
And I like the story overall. I thought the story was really compelling and cool, and it sets us up for the ultimate finale.
Rogar.
He has actually a good villain voice.
Oh,
so
I loved his voice.
So let's set up the plot of what'll happen way later, obviously. You could feel that. While the focus of this story was Sombra.
I'm hyped.
This was a great setup. And it's going to keep us in suspense throughout the, we're probably going to see throughout the season them building their forces and becoming stronger and stronger. Keep getting stronger. And it will ultimately culminate in the ultimate finale.
What did you dislike about the episode?
We're at a weird point now. There's just so much in Equestria. There's so many characters that Starswell the Bearded, shows up and just didn't do anything until this point. What about the other pillars of harmony or whatever they were called?
I think the whole retirement thing happens way too quickly. That's just sprung on us even before the opening theme of the episode. It just came out of nowhere. That's a really big moment that shouldn't just come out of nowhere.
Could have been an episode and a half long, but it felt like it was too long, and some of the stuff just felt like filler, oh, now we gotta fight plans.
I kind of personally wish the show could get back to basics and not trying to outdo itself with these grand adventures and all that. I just give us more episodes in Ponyville of fun, silly things happening. And I'm sure that the season 9 will give us some of that.
Gay Sombra. They set him up to be this big, deep-voiced, villainous, and then we get
puny,
that
pint size.
We get gay guy trying to act straight Sombra. That's what it was.
I mean, you and I know that struggle.
Even his laugh, even his freaking evil laugh was so gay. I couldn't even relate to the main 6 in the moment because it was just so over the top.
The only thing I didn't like was Sombra's voice.
All of these things could have been one episode. You could have explored so much more if they had more time to each of these elements. And yet, again, my original complaint, they kind of just cram it all into one episode, or, two. It's a two-parter. It's a dislike, but it's not it didn't ruin the episode for me. Usually these sort of nitpicks, they take me out of the episode and they ruin it for me. But in this episode, they actually did a really good job of juggling things.
I dislike how the royals are presented, because while everyone likes to joke, or sometimes legitimately critique that the royal ponies are not involved in the defense as much as they could be, there's still a lot of signs of incompetence. Case in point, Sombra's marching down your main street, brainwashing everyone along the way, and Cadence and Shinearm are in this really high perch. They can see what's going on down there, and they don't activate the Crystal Heart, or throw up a shield, or do something to resist him until he's already in the throne room. There's just so much passivity with those two, and it gets old, especially when the show asked me in season 2 to consider them the best characters ever and the most beloved, and I've been waiting for them to step up and really be that, and it ain't gonna happen.
Sucks that they killed off Sombra, I really wanted Sombra to come back, or just have him be alright, I'm subservient to you now, or something like that.
It was a little bit weak with how they explained how the main 6 essentially were able to go back after Sombra.
Princess is finally doing something, that's great, but it was pointless.
I already know you're a fear, so I won't mind control you, because what advantage does that give me?
They really dropped the ball on the defense. It's so sad.
And then them digging out, I was like, okay, that's the solution.
Twilight has a freak out.
Oh
Why is this still a fucking thing?
I also just, in general, didn't like Celestia and Luna in this episode.
I felt like it didn't need to be a two-parter, which is the first time I think I've said that.
They really drove it home how
useless,
insensitive they can be.
It just seemed like they abused their roles.
They kept forgetting different powers.
Oh yeah, it's Applejack strong and I can teleport.
Yeah.
I didn't really like Sombra's voice. Not to say that the acting was bad, but I didn't think it fit him. He wasn't intimidating to me. He was obnoxious, and
some of the animation wasn't as good as before. Specifically the part where Samba's laughing his head off.
This is just an issue with the universe as a whole at this point. We know of too many people who could fix everything.
I didn't like how much of a dick Discord was, but then again, he's always a dick.
I liked that.
You liked the fact that at the very end, he was
Yes.
like, I was pulling you the whole time!
Because if he had just gone in and saved the day, Twilight wouldn't have learned her lesson. Because let's be honest, Twilight doesn't learn lessons until it's handed to her on a silver platter.
This is very true.
There's not much you can do to justify that, admittedly. Discord, who is 100% a character who could have done anything, he had a reason to not do it. Like, he was just like, oh, you know what? I want you to do it because it'll help you grow as a character. And that's fair enough.
But maybe because I really liked his speech, and then he's like, well, I was faking! I'm like, fuck you.
Again, not an issue with the episode itself, or the episode's opener, premiere, but more an issue that just comes with the territory. We're at a point where it's too bloated, I'm feeling. Too many characters, too much to keep track of. Oh, now what are these characters doing? Oh, what about these? Oh, what about these? Admittedly, like, like, I guess, oh, we're trying to get everybody together because this is the finale of MLP. This is the last season, so this is the last premiere, so we need to get everything together. It's like, yeah, it's weird. It's like, it feels bad me saying that it did things wrong, because it technically didn't.
How did this premiere compare to past premieres?
Yeah, I suppose it falls somewhere in the middle for me. I didn't dislike it, I enjoyed it, but it's certainly not one of my favorites. The cutie map is probably going to always be one of my favorites. So yeah, considering how many seasons we're into now, putting it somewhere in the middle is still a pretty solid compliment, I'd say. I liked the episode a lot. It was a solid premiere. It was big and bold and adventurous, and that's kind of what you expect from premieres these days. So yeah, a lot of fun.
I think this is one of the better premieres. I think this is actually going to be probably top 3.
It's better than some and worse than some.
So this one was a bit more, oh, there's a bad guy, there's shit going on. Twilight, you get a whole country, because last time they were like, Twilight, you get a whole school. Now they're like, Twilight, you get a whole country. So they're racking it up, and they're like, also there's a bad guy. It's like, okay, you know, so it's a little bit higher on the list, I would say, because premieres usually are kind of lackadaisical. So this one was good. I think it was, compared to most premieres, as Viva Reverie would say, it was pretty good.
This was a strong premiere.
There are a few which are just like, oh, this is really good. Return of Harmony, Discord, fantastic. And Cutie Map with Starlight. That was also really fun.
It hypes me for the whole season, which is what a premiere should do.
It was fun. It didn't feel that special.
Definitely in the upper half with premieres.
Mid-average, slightly above, but not much.
As far as premieres goes, that was a good one.
One thing's for sure, I think like Discord's episode and Starlight's episode were a lot more fun.
It's got the stamp of approval, yeah. Good.
I think it was pretty good. I don't know how to rank the past premieres, but the premieres are always really exciting because they're action-filled and they're two-parters, so you have more time to tell the story, and that's always very fun. And this one, it was cool to see all the villains getting together, so I think that's kind of a nice culmination of the entire series.
Pretty on par with like season 1, 2, 3.
I really liked this season opener.
Yeah, me too.
Like I said, I really, really liked Discord's little I got a little like choked up. I was like,
I think it's going to be hard to beat the season 2 premiere with Discord. Is that the one with the season 2 premiere with Discord? That will always be one of the best. And then of course, This Day, Aria, Chrysalis first, that was, I just feel like we're getting tired. It's getting tired. They're running out of steam. And while it makes me sad that the show is ending, I understand.
I can tell they really they gave it their all. They
Yeah.
knew that this was going to be the end and they didn't want to go out on a meh note, so they really pushed.
No, they did.
They really pushed.
But that's okay, because they're making a whole new show in a couple of years, and it'll be something new and unique and exciting.
I really enjoyed Princess Twilight, the two-parter, because it showed the new dynamic. It showed Twilight could step into the role of leader if needed, and it even put away the elements for a time at least, making you think, oh, there's this new dynamic. Well, this premiere, it did that even more, with even greater assertiveness. It's saying there will be an attack by this evil legion. Twilight and Friends will take over Equestria as its new rulers. All this stuff will happen. It's very decisive. No vagueness, no hints at things about to happen. We're looking forward to something. And because the Twilight and Friends don't know about Grogar yet, they don't know a new threat is coming. So we've got the advantage of dramatic irony, and that'll keep us hooked even if they rely on the slice of life day-to-day stuff again, for a little while.
I think I liked it better than the last season.
And I really like how much they threw in. You had this whole new evil council, you had Sombra's big return, visits to the Crystal Empire and Cantula and Ponyville. They covered a lot right away.
This one's cooler. I love villains. I do. You know, it's cool to see Tyrek meet Chrysalis and Cozy Glow's kind of goofing off.
I think this was a better episode for Sombra than the premiere he was in.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
There's
before with season 3.
He's more of like a menacing force of nature in those. This one is actually a character.
I'm really excited for this last season. I think it's going to be good. I think it's going to be like really well done. And I have nothing but props. Like the last 2 seasons they've done so far, I think have been great. Like they had a few stumbles. Like the only seasons I think were a stumble area was like season 5 and 6 because I barely remember anything from them. But since that, like season 7, 8, like I love those. So I hope they finish strong. I cannot wait for this. Like I really hope they finish strong.
It sets the board for what we should hopefully see this season.
Yeah.
Because if we see like, here's an episode where Tyrek, Chrysalis, and Cozy Glow run off to do some shit or whatever.
Right.
That'd be kind of cool. I like the character interaction between Cozy Glow and Tyrek, of like the big tough guy and the little squirt. That's a cool dynamic.
Overall, how would you rate the season 9 premiere?
7. 7 out of 10.
An 8 out of 10.
It was a good 7.
I'm gonna give this an 8.5 out of 10.
I think an 8. The only bad thing was really Sombra's voice.
Everything that I would want a premiere to be.
I would rate it rock silver Discord speech.
Good humor, good story, great setup for the season.
So what is that?
That's like a 7.
A 7? Okay.
A 6 or 7. It's like slightly better than middle of the road, but
yeah,
nothing too wowie worthy.
Awesome villain death. Discord being in his element.
Obviously, that was a 10 because it was amazing, and Joanna and Christine are so good, and they're so funny with their dialogue, and the animation team did great with all the little sight gags. I mean, I'm still cracking up over the part where they had to bake the ugliest cake ever for Sombra. That was great. That was very good. And Pinky's all upset.
7 or 8, maybe.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah, 7 or 8.
8. Solid 8.
Maybe a 7.5.
Say like a 7.5 or an 8. I liked it. Now that I compare it to other premieres, compared to other premieres, it was good.
I liked it. It's not the best ice cream, but it's at least my favorite flavor.
Because they're Celestia and Luna being complete numbskulls and thrusting Twilight into power. That's a bit frustrating. Her forgetting about her powers. Discord was kind of cool in this episode where he's like, sacrificing, quote unquote, himself to make the girls realize who they need to be and kind of reaffirm that they got this. We got this forever.
Ow.
9. You'd give it a 9 because it's season 9, so 9.
Yeah, well, no. I would have given it a 10 because that's how much I enjoyed it, except for Sombra's voice. If Sombra's voice was better, I would have given it a perfect
But
score.
he's going to be the ultimate gay icon. It's gonna be Yas Queen. Yas.
No, why?
Why? Why not?
I think my rating would be around a 7 out of 10, which, it's still a good rating. It's just a few points off because I'm just a horrible nitpicker, I guess, Again, I feel like the episode was kind of crammed with a lot of different things where I understand why they can't, but it would have been great if they could have spread out more of these things across the whole season. Again, I guess they can't because, I think that the production order differs from the airing order, so if they were to try to do continuity episode to episode, it could get mixed up and that would be bad. So, yeah, I understand why it's crammed into one premiere like this, but hey, we got a 2-parter premiere, so, it was really enjoyable. I'm glad we got what we got.
I'd give it an 8. It was still good. I enjoyed it. But I'd give it an 8.
Why? Elaborate.
Well, Grogar for one. When I think of the G1 iteration of Grogar, God, he's scary. This one I'm just like, he's just pissy grandpa with fucking bells on him.
Here's the conundrum though. This is a season premiere that relies very heavily on the fact that you've seen past seasons. It's not a great introduction episode, but it is a great celebration episode of all that's come before, and it gets me excited for what's to come. So I highly recommend it. It's not something you want to introduce a new person to the show on. But then again, this is the final season. I think you've got plenty of episodes to choose from.
And it just kind of makes me a little bit sad. It feels like the end of an era. It feels like we're growing up, you know, and moving on. And it's not necessarily a bad thing, and it's not like we'll forget about it, and it's not like, you know, we don't care about it anymore. I mean, My Little Pony will always, you know, have a special place in my heart and mean something to me because I met my best friends through this show, and I started working, you know, professionally as a voice actor initially because of people from the show and getting interested in voice acting because of the show.
Good job, MLP, for doing good. Like, even this long in. We're finally wrapping up the universe, though. Like, we have one season left.
There's so many things that came, some good and some bad, but nonetheless affected my life. The show has affected my life, and you know, all good things must come to an end. And I guess I feel like, you know, in the vein of there's an appointed time for everything, it is time. It is time for it to end, but it still makes me sad.
On the home stretch. And that's a little scary, but a little exciting.
And I will continue to keep my friendships that I've made, and I will continue to do, you know, music and YouTube and voice acting work, but I won't forget why I started and where it came from.
And you know what? I don't care if this is the final season. I'm still having fun, and I will have fun with the ideas of this franchise and just the characters, even after the show ends. One of the things I love about the Brony fandom is the creative energy and the ability to take this baton and run with it, even when the show isn't in full swing. We've never lacked for creativity or new content during a hiatus, and now, even after the season ends, I don't think it'll be the end of the fandom by any means. So, thanks for having me on Bronies React, and we'll see you again.
The end is nigh. Repent, the end is nigh.
I can't do the laugh. Yeah, yeah. I will defeat Twilight Sparkle and her friends. Yeah, 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 yeah.
I'm the ruler of all of Equestria, King Sandra.
I was just letting you. That's right. I forgot what she said.
Gandalf the Grey is back to. Oh my. This is why you shouldn't sit on your bed.
7 minutes, 4 seconds in, when they're like, "Oh, there's never been someone we couldn't kill." I mean,
you want to make up?
First episode of the last season of that hurt myself. Wow. I just dug my fingernail into my wooden desk, and there's actually pieces of wood on my nail.
Girl character says, "We have different ways of meaning of temporarily." Oh, wow! I didn't. That was a bad read. This joke was stupid.
Shut the fuck up, Paleo. I'm trying to record this.
Combing his chinny. Not pubes. I was gonna call him chinny pubes. Damn it.
Shut up, Paleo. Fuck.
No Pony McPretendsmith is it?
Edit that part out, Race. BDSM. A game the whole family can play.
It happens and the princesses aren't there to help.
My dog. No! My dog has hit my keyboard.
That was dumb. Don't use that.
I'll remember when we're at Greta Smith's birthday. Sorry, I was gonna say circumcision for some.
Pathetic!
A fucking rake! Should I swear? I haven't sworn for the rest of this episode. Whatever, it's a swearing episode now.
Pathetic!
Where was I going with this?
It's downright professional to spring this on Twilight like some kind of sick joke when all of Equestria's on the line.
Listen here, GM Barrel!
Twilight Sparkle is not afraid of ladybugs because in season 69, episode 420, a ladybug flies by her face and she did not react. She actually thought it was cute And then, did you know that like Cadence and her have a song in which like the word ladybug is in it?
Oh!
She's not afraid of ladybugs.
Stupid.